everyone, I'm Alex. To those of you who don't know me, to everyone who does know me, please wait till the end to heckle me and whatever it is you have on your mind. I don't give speeches very often, so bear with me if it doesn't run that smoothly or if I get the shakes or whatever. This is not something I do very often. For the last few years, I've had a personal interest in serial killers. I find them fascinating. The psychology behind the crimes deeply interests me. I'm well aware that there are some people who do share an interest in serial killers, but they take it to a creepy hero worship level that I find deeply disconcerting, and it's not something I like to linger upon. So, starting with what actually makes a serial killer will use the FBI's official definition. The term serial killing means a series of 3 or more killings, not less than one of which was committed within the continental United States, having common characteristics such as to suggest the reasonable possibility that the crimes were committed by the same person or persons. That is the FBI's official definition. Now, for the time being, it only stands to be used within the United States. It's not an international definition. Our government is the only one that uses it. So, taking that into consideration, serial killers can also encompass mass murderers, spree killers, that sort of thing. There are different classifications that can come under the umbrella of being a serial killer. 2 famous examples throughout history, starting in the early 1900s, are Joseph Stalin of the USSR and Adolf Hitler of Nazi Germany. Those 2 are both known as they were famous leaders of their countries. They were figures in World War II. They're also fitting the criteria that the United States has set forth for a serial killer, with Stalin's death count at 40 million and Hitler's at least 6 million. Now, in American society itself, there have been other famous examples of serial killers. For example, Ted Bundy, who's prevalent in the 1970s. He was a good-looking man. He managed to blend into society almost completely with charm, and he had an allure to him that people let down their guard around him, and unfortunately, that is often what led to their demise. Before his execution, he murdered at least 30 to 36 people that we know of. There is a possibility that he killed more. We are not sure, and now that he's dead, we have no way of being sure. Another famous example is Timothy McVeigh, who, in addition to being a serial killer, is also considered an American terrorist. He was responsible for the Oklahoma City bombings in the early 1990s, which killed 168 people. He was put to death in the early 2000s, but he showed, even up until his death, no remorse whatsoever for his actions, which is another trait shared with the serial killer mentality. They often show little to no remorse. If they feel sorry for their actions, it's often to gain sympathy for themselves or to escape a harsher sentence. They aren't interested in letting their victims know that they feel any emotional attachment to what they have done. Now, the big problem with serial killers to date is, as I mentioned with Bundy and with other famous killers, is they have come up with a way to mask themselves, to blend into American society, where if you were to pass them on the streets or even work with them, you wouldn't know that it was a serial killer. So the problem is, how do we know what makes a serial killer a serial killer? And we really don't have an answer for that, unfortunately, because you'll get people who say, oh, it was the quiet one. Oh, it was this nutcase who lived down my street. They come in all races, they come in all ages, they come in all genders. So the real problem is, we have no way of knowing. You just have to be vigilant, be careful of who you trust. And remember that this is not specifically a problem unique to the United States. It's a global issue. They pop up in every community, and it's something that all people need to be aware of as being an issue. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for talking to you.